Yeah, it has been a bit, hasn't it? And there are a number of factors behind that. But I think one of the main reasons is since the end of Legacy, Transformers hasn't really grasped me, at least in the collecting sense. And while Age of the Prime has put out some absolutely fantastic figures here and there, it just doesn't feel like the banger after banger after banger cycle that we had with Legacy. And the fact that there are less figures per year now just kind of adds to that. The best way I can put it is, Age of the Prime feels like Legacy's post-party hangover. And the one line that was consistently putting out completely new character designs kinda fell flat on its face after its first year. Rest in peace, Deluxe Cosmos. Not to say everything is doom and gloom, of course. I have been greatly enjoying Cyberworld's filling in of that small-scale core clash niche, and the absolutely phenomenal Hot Wheels crossover line supplying some killer original character designs. But in spite of all that, the small, or relatively small amount of product output per year, the slow turnout of that product, Hasbro's absurd price hike, and a CEO that doesn't seem to know what he's doing 90% of the time, I am understandably a little burnt out with Transformers, at least with the collecting space. Luckily, South Korea was there for me. Enter Metal Cardbot, a line that's absolutely exploded in popularity over in its home country of South Korea, and, as of late, thanks to the folks over at Agabus, now has official US distribution, and for considerably more affordable prices than what Hasbro has been charging. My name is Sint, and today in Sint Reviews, we're going to be taking a look at Metal Cardbot, Stealth Class, Blue Star, and Shadow X. So, we'll start off with Blue Star, since he's kind of the Bumblebee default mascot character of the series. So, we will set Shadow X off to the side right now, and get this guy center stage. Blue Star saw his US release in 2026 as part of the first wave of the Stealth Class lineup, and initially retails for about $24.99. He was one of a handful of characters to get completely renamed, his original name being Blue Cop. Starting off in alt mode, Blue Star is sort of your kind of generic looking police sports car, having a bit of Lamborghini Aventador DNA in there, but being just cartoony and just squished down enough to avoid any real licensing issues, not to mention the obvious elephant in the room right here at the front. So let me address the eyes. I don't mind them. I think it gives them a bit more personality, makes them stand out a bit more compared to their contemporaries over in their home country's market, those being Hello Cardbot and Tobot, which tend to lean towards more realistic looking vehicles. So this more anime-inspired, sleek, cartoony look with the big Pixar-style eyes at the front definitely does make them stand out against their contemporaries. That being said, I do understand why people do not like them. They are a bit goofy, and for Transformers fans who are usually used to more realistically styled alt modes, at least in the way of cars, they can definitely be a turnoff. Luckily, at least for if you pre-ordered the Wave 1 bundle, you get a set of stickers that allow you to cover up the eyes if you wish to. So as I said before, alt mode definitely has that Lamborghini influence to it. Bringing in another license-free Lamborghini alike. Here's Hunt for the Decepticon oil pan. You can see they're basically mirror images of each other. One is just smaller, and one is lacking a spoiler. And one has big googly eyes on the front. But yeah, you can definitely see the similarities between them, and clearly drawing from the same sort of inspiration. albeit I believe Whalepan is closer to a Gallardo. Blue Star is far more Aventador coded, aka basically Age of Extinction Lockdown. Lots of paint on this guy, definitely quite a bit more than you would get from a figure of this price point with Hasbro. The blue going down the side, that is all paint, some nice metallic gold, some black painted windows, which is very nice, no clear plastic on this guy, at least on the base figure, aside from the headlights up here. I believe the eyes are a plastic insert. Those can technically be popped out if you want to disassemble the figure a bit. So yeah, pendant wheels, which roll oh so well, and some nice detail at the back, and a clever use of screw holes as exhaust pipes. So yeah, generally a very well painted, very well detailed alt mode. And as I mentioned before, rolls like a dream. Nice and smooth, nice and quiet. Now, a trend with a lot of metal Cardbot figures is, with the alt mode, what you see is what you get, so it doesn't really do much. It rolls, it looks cool, and that's about it. And honestly, I don't have any issue with that. So being an East Asian boys toy line, it has to have its obligate collectible, the titular metal cards. Not actually made of metal because of budgets. But yes, basically what you get here is a plastic card with an NFC chip in it meant to interact with the metal breath, or I guess a more accurate translation would be metal brace, roleplay toy. So yeah, there's an NFC chip in there, and it should be able to be scanned on that. So yeah, basically, plastic card, nice sticker of Blue Star there at the front, nice Machina symbol there at the back, and it latches on to Blue Star's weapon unit there, which we will tackle more in Robo. But yes, that is your collectible. So that is Blue Star's alt mode. I guess, only thing to do now, on to transformation. Blue Star ranks as a 2 in complexity, a basic conversion, a pretty basic car former with some slightly finicky panels. Blue Star's transformation is quite straightforward and pretty on par with what you would expect from a car former. So, let's start off by taking these back panels and popping them up. Take the doors, click them up and fold them in. Same thing on the other side. Take a bit of finagling to get out, but there you go. Pop up the roof. Take the back. Well, first off, take these panels, flip them around, unfold the legs, split, flip out feet, comes the inside of the legs, fold out these little panels, and remove this weapon. Take the side fenders, angle them forward. There are his legs done. Touch up. Untab the side fenders and pull them down. Angle the fenders forward. Take this panel right here, bring it back, fold in the grill. Come to the backpack. There's a, can't really see, but there is a peg right there at the hole. There's a peg right there on the hinge. There's a hole on his back. Bring that up. Snap it into place. And there you have Blue Star in robot mode. So at first glance in robot mode, Blue Star looks kinda awkward. For a lot of you, maybe bringing to mind those solid brick style figures from Cyber vs. Ultra class. I would grab one, but I don't know where my Shadow Striker is. But yeah, rather than that, it looks awkward. It looks kind of stiff in the legs, has a notable backpack here on the back, obviously, and in general, it could look better, and I will agree there, he looks slightly awkward. However, this is honestly a very nice feeling figure. Super chunky, super solid feeling plastic, which is something that I can say about pretty much the entire line. They feel great in the hands. And yeah, And while he looks like he wouldn't have much articulation, it's acceptable. Before we get into that articulation, let's just do a general look over of the robot mode. Ignoring the backpack for now, he looks very, very sleek, very lithe. Nice looking head sculpt there with the hat and crest. A bit hard to see, but he does have eyes in there, much like an alt mode. Faux chest, big old fenders on the shoulders, kind of bringing to mind, say, Earthspark Bumblebee. Some nice skirts right here, which can look out for posability ease. Generally pretty well built legs. Not really much in the way of outward kibble. And then you get to the back. And it's a coat. He has coattails. Even the otherwise egregious back kibble is somehow implemented into the design. And I absolutely love that. In the way of accessories, Bluestar comes with a pretty basic solid black little futuristic revolver, which there's a tab at the palm of his hand, there's a slot on the pistol grip, so you can just tab that into his hand, and he holds it pretty well. His other accessory comes from the weapon unit from the card, which has its own transformation. So you fold it in half, flip down these panels right here, fill out this bit, and angle forward the bottom bit, and you have a giant fist. There are two little pegs right there, two little holes on his arm, so you can just slot that on, and here comes the giant fist! The Justice Gauntlet. And yeah, it's a big ol' hand for smashing people with, which is awesome. So yeah, big ol' translucent weapon. Can't go wrong with that. Looks awesome. Some good play value for the kids. Bluestar's articulation is really nothing to write home about, but also it's way better than it looks on first glance. So, going from the head down, he has ball jointed head. It does pop off kind of easily, but it goes right on just as easily. Some nice ratchets at the shoulder, back and forth, in and out. Bend at the elbow, bicep swivel. Some nice universal ratchets at the hips. Bend at the knee on a very tight ratchet. You might have to get some shock oil or something on that, because they are very, very tight right out of the box. So in addition to that, he also has, due to transformation, a secondary knee. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Very basic articulation, but you can still get some decent poses out of him. It's basically late Unicron trilogy levels. So that's Bluestar wrapped up. On to Shadow X. Shadow X's general information is basically the same as Bluestar's, US release in 2026, part of Wave 1 of the Stealth class lineup, and retailed for $24.99, with no additional notes to add. So starting off in alt mode, Shadow X is a bright purple tilt-rotor stealth helicopter. All that is right up my alley, so obviously I had to get him on pre-order, and oh, this is such a cool looking alt mode. And also, I think one of the best uses of the alt mode eyes. So yeah, let's get a better in-depth look at this thing. So as you can see, the alt mode eyes line up with what would be printing on an actual vehicle to make a shark face. That is awesome, I love it, love the vibes. Nice, deep shade of purple, right up my alley once again. A bit of visible head syndrome, but it's hidden enough. Well, it's hidden away well enough. And just how much of the robot mode is actually used in this alt mode is great. there is basically not a single bit pointless robot kibble here. Even if the legs are kind of obvious right here at the bat, they're still pretty well integrated into the alt mode. So, yeah. Once again, pretty good paint. Not as much as Blue Star, but a lot of his paint is in his robot mode. So you can see a bit of silver here and there, a bit of black up here, and a bit of gold back here. And honestly, I feel that's kind of all he needs. Purple goes a long way, in my opinion. Of course, I am very, very biased. And you wouldn't be a tilt rotor without tilting rotors. Unfortunately, they don't free spin, but what you gonna do? Taking a look at his card. Once again, nice purple, some nice gold right here. Nice control art of Shadow X right there. Same thing as before, except done up in purple. So, yeah. That's basically how all the cards are. Basically, it's just the same, different sticker, different plastic color. As stated with Blue Star, what you see is what you get, but at least he has a bit of a play function with the functioning tilt rotors. So, on to transformation. Shadow X ranks as a 1 in complexity, a novice conversion. It's very, very basic, but it makes a lot of use of those few steps. Shadow X's transformation is super cool and super smooth. So we're gonna start off by coming to the bottom, flipping down these little plastic tabs, take the entire tail portion, extend it out, and swing down the waist. Straighten them out, pull back the fins, separate the legs, and well, there's the legs. Move the camera up a bit. This is cool. Take the winglets, bring them down, move the rotors outward, take the engines right here, hold them up, and there's your arm. Come to the back, split the entire front section into like that, flip up the head, that's it. Very simple, very quick, but also very, very cool. Shadow X's robot mode looks awesome. Just dripping with ninja vibes, super slim, super sleek, but also super chunky, and I love that. Just in general, so cool looking. Getting a nice overview of this, you can see way more paint is revealed. Some extra silver on the chest, some gold on the intakes, some painted missiles right there on the shoulders, and a very nicely painted head right there. Now mine does have a slight paint defect on his midriff right here, but everything else is so good that I can just ignore that. Nice painted X headband right there. Some nice sleek legs. Just in general, just such a cool looking ninja robot design. In the way of accessories, he has his rotors, which can be removed and placed in his hands to be turned into kunai. So like throwing knives or just like basic daggers, or you can maybe say that they're some kind of claw weapon, but I think the intent is to have him use them as knives. So yeah, some nice alt mode part usage as weapons. As for his card weapon, pop off the card, extend out the sides like this, and then pivot around the center. To the back, about the peg, and there we go, giant shuriken. So we remove one of the rotors, out of his kunai, about the port, and then tab it into there, and there we go, giant shuriken, not unlike Yuffie from Final Fantasy VII. So yeah, just awesome, awesome huge weapon. Love it. Much like with Blue Star, Shadow X's articulation is nothing to write home about, but I feel he can get more out of his articulation due to the fact that he's less kiddly. So, once again, ball jointed head, universal ratchets at the shoulder, even if the forward ones are squeaky, swivel at the bicep, bend at the elbow, universal ratchets at the hips, bend at the knee, and that's all she wrote. So yeah, basically the same as Blue Star. He can just get a bit more usage out of it. So I think this goes without any more saying. I think these figures are absolutely fantastic. Big, chunky figures with a nice Unicron Trilogy feel to them, that are also, in the case of Stealth Class, cheaper than your average Hasbro Deluxe. Now, I'm not going to say these are going to completely turn me off Transformers. I still love the engineering that is put into Transformers and just how refined it is, but these guys are just so much fun. And sometimes that's just all you need. Nice, clicky figures that feel nice in the hands. As I said, they are currently up on Agabus. Don't know if pre-orders are entirely finished shipping out, but hopefully these should be up for just standard order soon, so definitely keep an eye out. And I'll see ya in whatever I do next. Bye-bye!